What's up, guys? My name is Andres. This is the Ventura County Brewery Show. On today's episode, we have Andres Nuno from Surf and Suds Beer Festival. He's been doing it for about 9 years. Not only does he do beer festivals, but he also handles other people's events now that he has the process down. Took 2020 off due to pandemic, but he's coming back strong here in 2021. Has two festivals slated for the end of summer, beginning of fall. Anyway, enjoy. Oh, we're recording? All right, here we go. Andres Nuno from Surf and Suds Beer Fest. Thanks for coming on the podcast with me today, this evening. So you've been in business for your bio 9 years, handling different festivals of different types. I see mainly beer festivals, which is what we're going to talk about today. So thanks for coming on. I'm going to open my beer here. I stopped by one of the breweries that was on the website there. Cheers. I'm digging the Casa Agria, their Mexican lagers, pretty good.
Yeah, those guys, Casa Agria, one of my favorite breweries, not just in Ventura County, but kind of all around. I have, there's some guys who tug at my heart a little bit more, and they're one of the guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I'm stoked to be here.
No, man, it started off pretty specific. Like I was only going to do, breweries, but I come to discover that there's, everyone who was a brewer in the county started off as a home brewer. So now I'm going to talk to a bunch of home brewers. And then, you're having, festivals like yours feature their beer, right? So we got to talk to people like you. So it's a big community. So I hope to interview as many people as I can. All right. Enough about me.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself. Let everyone know who you are and what Surf and Suds is all about.
Yeah. So my name is Andres Nuno, and I am the co-founder of Surf and Suds Beer Festival, which we started. We're going to be on 9 years ago, which is pretty crazy to think about. And we started here in Carpinteria, my hometown. And 3 years into doing Surf and Suds, we went from one festival a year to starting a second one in Ventura Surf and Suds, which has become pretty popular. And then we started getting hired by people to run their beer festivals, and it kind of exploded. Year 3 was kind of our launch pad, and I'm proud to say we do most of the beer festivals between Ventura County and San Luis Obispo County. We do a fair amount of them. So
you found the formula to get it done.
Yeah, I think a lot of the times the breweries at beer festivals, so like a lot of the people that go to beer festivals don't really get to see the backside of it, right? Like the work that goes into just getting these breweries to show up. That's the biggest part, because if you only have 20 breweries and you're trying to sell tickets to thousands of people, then you're gonna be waiting a lot of lines.
For sure.
Our formula became, let's become friends with these guys. And so that's what I've done. I've made friendships with these guys and relationships that when I take over a new event or we start a new event, those guys trust that I'm going to put on a good event, and our guests know that we're going to bring some really good breweries, and the breweries aren't just going to bring their pale ale or their IPA, the stuff that's on the board all the time. They're going to bring something that's really good. And we've kind of just taken off. So Carp Surf and Suds is our biggest event of the year. The last time we ran one, which is 2019, sadly, we had 77 breweries on site.
Wow.
That is a ton of breweries.
Well, a ton of breweries, that's a ton of people.
Yeah, it is. And Carpinteria is a really, really small town. We have 3 breweries of our own. We have a meadery. So we have Island Brewing Company, we have Brew Lab, we have Rincon Brewery, and then we have the Apiary. And so we're lucky to be in a small town and have these really good options to have great beers. And so, to have those in our backyard, plus our biggest success for Carpinteria Surf and Suds, honestly, was the train. The train drops off at our front door. I mean, you can come from anywhere. and you're going to get dropped off at the front door. And so based on that success, you know, yeah,
And then you don't have to drive home.
You do not have to drive. Well, it's a big thing for us, you know, like we also have some great transportation that we started putting into all the events that we do.
Yeah.
And one of them was called Jump on the Brew Bus. And those guys will literally pick up. So they pick up in a bunch of different towns and then bring you to the event, and then you jump back on that bus. And the bus ride home, I heard, is pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's pretty
fun.
Loud,
a little messy sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then get you home safe, you know. We've been lucky enough to work with some cool nonprofits to have so every event you come to, if you ride your bike, it's complimentary valet bike parking.
All right.
So you don't have to worry about your bike being stolen, you know.
Right.
And so it's just, we've kind of tried to create something that makes it so easy for you to say, I can go have a really good time, drink. I can choose what I want to drink, right? Because at that point with 77 breweries,
for sure,
you can literally choose stuff that you've never seen before or never heard of.
Right.
Or go to your favorites and see if they have anything new on. And then don't worry about anything else. You know, we got great music. We have great DJ, a bunch of great vendors. And so the success of that event honestly has given us opportunity to host other people's events for them. And that's what I'm most proud of is it's we had 13 events and slated for 2020. And you know, we got hired to do a 4th of July event. So, you know, we're kind of going away from doing just beer festivals.
Yeah.
But even then I'm like, hey, so what's your beer garden look like? Let's get some craft beer in there.
Right. It's not gonna be the standard fare beers are not gonna be there.
I'm trying to, I'm craft beer at heart. All these guys, they truly are friends, and I try to support them as often as I can.
Right.
Even in 2020, you did our virtual events, right? So we had on the Wednesday before our first event in 2020. So we're going to do the Bealton Wine and Chili Festival, and it was slated for a Sunday. And the Wednesday before is when the shutdown happened by the governor.
Right.
And so I literally didn't get to do a single in-person event in 2020. Wow. And have not since then. So it's just been over a year.
Yeah.
Where we were doing it sometimes 2 times a month, sometimes every 3 weeks, and we were just going. And now it's like we pivoted pretty hard. And you know, you guys have done the virtual fests, you know, and that's kind of what we did. And we created this whole new part of our business that we never knew existed, because we had to. And so it's interesting to be in my business right now. I feel for the breweries, right? Those guys I try to support, like I said, as often as possible.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Whether
it's pickup or to-go beers, you know, whatever it is, I can help out. I'm trying to do it. And, you know, yeah, it's been something else.
Yeah, everyone that I've spoken to is waiting. They expect the floodgates to open here when they say go. I just when was it? Yesterday I went to Pedals and Pints in Thousand Oaks.
Oh yeah.
They opened in COVID, so like the week they were gonna open is when everything shut down.
Oh.
So they've never known anything but that. But they said, you know, because of people coming to support and pick up and stuff like that, that they've been able to stay afloat and been doing pretty well. But they know that, you know, they can do a lot better because people are chomping at the bit to spend their money and support, you know, people. And so hopefully, you know, you'll end up in a better place after this. So
I mean, we think with, like, you know, when we went to virtual, I had no idea what I was doing, right? Like, I never had to do anything similar to that. I never was in front of a camera other than doing interviews. And
so basically you're going back to, you know, Surf and Suds year 1, right? It's your first virtual one. So you're basically going back in time to your first event of whatever type it is, right? So you're just learning as you go.
Yeah. And we were lucky enough that a friend of mine named Tony Grimes, who's the president of the Central Coast Brewers Guild, and also happens to work for Fig Mountain. So he was actually doing these virtual live music sessions that were shot at the Figueroa Mountain in Santa Barbara.
Okay.
And so I saw that right when we were trying to figure out how to do this virtual thing. So I actually reached out and I just said, would you be willing to let me hire you to do at least behind the camera work? What program are you using? How do you do this? And so I had somebody at least knew what they're doing.
Right.
Then I just had to talk to breweries into going and believing in me again, right? Like I've already done the hard work in getting them to real life events. Now it's like, okay, we're doing virtual. And they're like,
Right.
what does that mean? And I go, I don't really know. I'm going to figure it out, but I need you to say yes so that I can at least start there. Right. So I got 12 breweries that were I chose them because I knew they were like personal friends.
Right.
And they would say yes.
Yeah.
Right. So we bought the beer, which we normally don't do because we're working for nonprofits and they donate. So we're able to help them out with buying the beer. I reached out to all my ticket buyers, said, hey, we're doing a virtual event and tickets went on sale. We expected to sell about 100. And I was going to actually thought maybe 100 was like the most I was going to do. And I had about 5 weeks to do it. And we actually sold out in 24 hours.
Wow.
So I added another 72, sold out in another 48 hours. And then, so we got all the way up to 300 plus tickets sold. And then we're like, okay, we sold the tickets. We have the beer. What do we do?
Right.
So it was like the breweries, I said, hey, you guys got to make a video. And they're like, what does that mean? I said, you got to make a video, talk about your beer and talk about your brewery. And I told them to treat it like it was a VIP session at a real life event. Right. So if you're a VIP guest, you want to ask all the questions. You want to, hey, what's new? What do you guys have on tap?
Right.
And then you start asking more questions about the beer, the brewery.
Yeah.
So I said, treat it like that. And they did a really good job. And so since May of last year, 2020, we have done it monthly. We took the month off in January of 2021 because I had been doing these monthly and they're a struggle, dude. It's a lot of work. And I don't have the staff that I normally have. So it's kind of just asking friends to help plug in all these beers. And we started getting hired. Then it was cool because we started getting new clients from it, which is I didn't expect to get new clients in 2020.
Yeah.
So we got Santa Barbara Zoo. We did another event for the Central Coast Brewers Guild. We got hired by the city of Atascadero to do a brew at the zoo for them for the Charles Paddock Zoo. So that was really fun. And, we've kind of just taken off and we're doing a monthly and, they're working for now.
Right. You're just going to see how long you can ride it. Right.
Yeah. And that's, that's right now is the name of the game, just like the breweries, right? Those guys are, one day they can have people inside and then the next day it's taken away from them. They got to put people back outside and then it's to go only, right? No outside. And so, I feel like everyone's done a really good job in the craft beer world of adapting.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nowhere else to get beer, right? I mean, you can't go sit down somewhere. So you have to go pick up. Right. And everyone wants to support. So let's go back. Surf and Suds. So how big is your reach? Your breweries, how far do they come from?
All over California. All over California. I mean, there's we go San Diego to north of San Francisco. I mean, we literally have breweries from all over the place. We have breweries from out of state. Most of those breweries are kind of the bigger breweries, right? You're going to see from out of state. Hop Valley, Kona. You're going to see some of those bigger guys. But if you go to Surf and Suds, my ultimate goal is that if I hear about a new brewery opening up somewhere, so I'm going on Instagram all the time, right? I'm just looking. I'll see if friends mention that there's a new brewery opening or try a new beer, and I'll go follow them. I'll reach out to them, and my goal is to get these guys to Surf and Suds and have it be the first time that their beer is tried here on the Central Coast. Or if they're a brand new brewery, then this is their first event. And I've had so many breweries, this be their first event, I remember before Brew Lab in Carpinteria opened, they were at our event with a booth, and they were just talking about their beer. They didn't have any beer. When Rincon started, they do the same thing here in Carp. They just were there. We had Ventura Coast Brewing before they opened up. They came down.
Right.
And so for me, I love giving the guests, just saying, look, no matter where you walk, you're gonna see something new. You're gonna see something you haven't tried. And the breweries, even if it was, say it was like Lagunitas, right? So those bigger guys in Sierra Nevadas of the world, the Stones, I asked them if they'll bring something different and treat the entire event like it's a VIP event, because you don't want to go to a beer festival and try something from Lagunitas you try all the time, right? Like,
and in a venue like that, they're able to, I want to know, like let their guard down and bring something that wouldn't be popular at their tasting room or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Or some experimental stuff, because it's the right kind of people to try it out on, right?
Yeah. And that's what you want to try. As for me personally, when I go to a craft beer or craft brewery or a craft beer bar, I'm looking for something I've never seen before, or a brewery I've never tried before. And even if it's not a style that I'm super into, but it's a brewery I've never tried, I want to try their beer.
Right.
And so I take that same thing with our events, and I wanted to bring that same feeling, right? So you walk down, and the way we set up our events, it's I make you want to walk around everywhere. We set up these pods in the middle. We have breweries everywhere. And so when you find Sierra Nevada is going to be next to a brewery that you've never heard of. It's going to be a brand new brewery.
Right.
And when you find Lagunitas, same thing, and then I'm not going to put like Casa Agria right next to somebody who's their neighbor, right? I'm not going to put Ventura Coast next to Topa. I separate those guys so it doesn't feel like, okay, this is the Ventura section or this is the Santa Barbara section. It feels like you're just walking around trying to just find gems, and you're like, and then the breweries, they do a great job of like self-promotion, right? When you walk by their booth, they're like, hey, we're putting something on tap in an hour. Make sure you come back and try it, because it's going to be gone in a half hour.
For sure.
So, I think that's the feeling that we have at Surf and Suds. And that's what I try to do with the virtual fest. What I did with the virtual fest, I started off with all the guys that were supportive of Surf and Suds, and I wanted to support them. So for our first 3 or 4 events, it was all people that went to Surf and Suds. And then I started looking for people I've never heard of. I didn't find, I'd been to Boomtown Brewery in LA, and I liked it because I'm a big Dodger fan, but they've never been to an event. So I reached out to those guys. They were so stoked. There's Crooked Lane out in Auburn, really good brewery out there that somebody turned me on to, and they joined us. There was so many breweries. We featured over 110 breweries since May.
Wow.
And we never duplicated a beer more than once.
Right.
We may have had some breweries join years. So that was really cool for us to see breweries want to come back.
Right.
And, for us to do that many breweries and not duplicate a beer, and then adding ciders and the wines and the seltzers, it felt like a beer festival in a box. And that's what I wanted to create. And, I do have people say, I wish there was more beer. And then I have people on the other side say, I wish you had more variety, so I'm never going to get it right. And that's just what it is. And that's why, I don't tell people what's going to be in that box. I tell them what the brands are, but I'm not going to tell them what the beer, because some people might only like IPAs or people don't like IPAs. And so if I tell them there's 4 IPAs out of the box of 14, they're like, that's not enough IPAs. So I want people to like be surprised when you open up your box. Like it's Christmas morning,
For sure. Yeah.
See what's in there.
Yeah.
And you've done it, right? So how many times have you done it?
I've not done a virtual event.
Oh, you have it?
No, I have not.
Oh, okay. Well, I got to get you a box.
Well, then I have to sign up for a box, because 14 beers sounds great.
So, and I'll walk you through it. Basically what happens is you're going to get a So for instance, we'll talk about the next one for Surf and Suds we have, which is called Surf and Suds plus Buds.
Yeah. Does that come in the box too?
I wish it could. I wish it could. But what we did do was
Right.
I live in Carpinteria.
Yeah.
And so we have some great craft breweries. We also happen to have a lot of cannabis farms here in town.
Yeah.
And it's just part of who Carpinteria is now, and it's not going to go away. So I reached out to them, and I wanted to see if they want to be a part of what we're doing. And the breweries, I first asked the breweries how they felt about it.
Right.
And all the breweries are like, that sounds awesome. And so for this particular event, Surf and Suds plus Buds, it's going to be May 15th. You're going to get a 12-pack. This one's only 12 because we have some other stuff going on. So it's a 12-pack of beer.
Yeah.
Delivered right to your house.
Yeah.
Or there's somebody, and also going to get for this particular one a promotional code. It's a 30% off promotional code to use at a dispensary that we are working with in the Tri-Counties. So right now we have a dispensary in Santa Barbara County. We have one in Ventura County. We have one in San Luis Obispo County. We just are about to sign with one in Los Angeles County and one in Lompoc.
All right.
So if you live in those areas, you can use this 30% off promo code and go get some cannabis or whatever it is that you want to get from the dispensary. 3 brands that we're featuring. So we're featuring 3 farms, Pacific Stone and then Autumn. And so the point of this event is to celebrate craft beer that's happening in Carpinteria and kind of the craft in general of the craft beer world, but also educate people on cannabis and kind of what it is now, as opposed to what it was when I was like in junior high, and in junior high it was like so taboo. It was like people called it dope, right?
Yeah.
Dope. And so this, right, like, what's an IPL? I never heard of an IPL. What's that? What's a sour? These guys get to explain it. These are the people that grow it with their own hands, and they get to explain it to you what they're growing. So I've learned a lot. I did a lot of homework and research on it, and so I went and interviewed these people, and I learned a lot. And I learned that if you don't like to smoke a joint, you don't got to smoke a joint. You can eat some gummies. They got joint solves. It's a 3-hour television show is what it is. Tell you all about their beer and their brewery, and kind of tell you where they're at right now, this state, right? Yes. Hey, we're in the orange tier. So now that means that you can come inside.
Right.
You can have outside. If you don't want to do that, we still have to go. We have shipping.
Yeah.
This is where you can find us. So that's their opportunity to tell you where they're at.
Right.
So a lot of social media interaction, right? So when you're watching it, if you like their videos, we've had some amazing videos. We've had full rap videos.
Wow.
We've had like full comedic routines set up.
Yeah.
We've had people in front of their iPhone and their desk. I mean, it is what it is, and the breweries kind of come through with what they have. And so you'll watch it, and we just walk you through the tastings. There's music. So we have Cornerstone Reggae. We have After the Smoke Reggae. We have DJ Hectic. I'll be sitting down with several people and finding out more about the breweries, more about cannabis. And that's that one. And then, then we go from there to, which is May 15th. But before that, we're doing called Brew at the Zoo for the Charles Paddock Zoo.
Yeah.
And now we're going behind the scenes with all the animals.
Right.
We get to go into the enclosure animals and we have a mead for the first time of those things. And and it kind of takes you, we work our way from north to south in California. If there's out of state one, we'll throw that in an event and have fun. And we're trying to have you do that. So a lot of people are doing watch parties.
Right.
So we'll deliver like 4 boxes to one they feel safe with, and they're all putting on the big screen outside, and they're all hanging out. They're all doing the tastings together,
Right.
just like you would if you're going to a beer fest,
Right.
you know?
Cool.
And so those have been pretty popular. So that one's April 24th. And then for the first time ever,
Mhm.
on May 1st, we're doing a Cinco de Mayo edition.
Okay.
So you're going to get a margarita in a can, and you're going to get actually a shot of tequila.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be pretty crazy. It's the first time we do that. We got to be careful on how I do that one.
Right.
So I don't start with the tequila. I got to figure out how to make that in. So, but you know, it's for me, it's fun to like try to do something new and not do the same thing every single time. So, you know, a lot of work, but I think it's going to pay off once we have real events. We've created a lot new. I feel like the breweries themselves are itching to get to festivals, man. I put on Surf and Suds, and I've already had like 40 breweries sign up.
Yeah.
That was just today.
Wow.
So the breweries are ready.
Right.
I think people are ready, you know, like for yourself, like, you know, like what's your favorite part about going to a beer fest?
Like you said, just a variety of stuff that's there. You're looking around and finding something that you've never tried before. I mean, that's what I do in general. I mean, we just went on vacation to San Luis Obispo. We went RVing, and I made sure I hit a brewery in every city that we stopped in. I was looking one up that we stopped in Morro Bay, 3 Stacks and a Rock Brewing Company. It was in a strip mall.
Yes, that's a cool.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was basically in a town like La Conchita. It was basically like a real small surf town, and they were in a strip mall. And
Chuck is the guy, I believe, is the owner.
yeah, and it was all local people. I mean, it was just people that lived in the neighborhood. So, all right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your one that's coming up in person. Your first in person event in a year. Where's it going to be? What's it going to be all about?
So, so we right now feel like Carpinteria Surf and Suds on August 14th is going to happen.
Yeah.
We're going to be in the yellows here, and that's where we got to be.
Yeah.
And you know, I've had some communication with the health department to try to figure out are there things we have to do to be prepared. We've already come up with our own safety plan. You know, a lot more hand washing sinks.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of new hand sanitizing stations.
Yeah.
We'll have someone assigned to cleaning surfaces all over the place.
Right.
And they'll just do that nonstop.
Right.
We've always had a digital ticket component to our event. We don't have anyone grabbing stuff from people. We're just scanning phones.
Right.
And if people don't have that capability, they can just come to the front gate and tell us their name, and we'll manually check them in.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to increase the size of our entrance. So normally I only have like 4 to 6 lines.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably going to look at like 12 lines to come in, just so that people are kind of separated. We don't know if we have to go to single-use plastic, which is unfortunate. But if that's what they require for us to have this, then that's
you gotta jump through the hoops.
We got to do, and try to find you know, I think we just got to do what they want us to do, and I'm not going to argue with them. But you'll still get a souvenir glass. You get to keep it. And basically what we believe is going to happen is you'll walk up to a brewery, you tell them what you want. They'll pour you a cup in a single-use plastic, hand it to you, and then you can put it in your cup if you want to. You can drink it from that. It's up to you. And just it's something that, again, that's not ideal, but it has to happen. So yeah, most of the events we have are outdoors in huge areas. So I'm not worried about space, right? I can always expand my fence line to create even more space in there for people to kind of feel comfortable and not be kind of squeezed in with each other. We don't oversell our events anyways.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been a big thing for me. Um, we're and yeah, so I don't know. I think there's a lot of things that may change in 2021,
Mm-hmm.
and then we get. So you said you went up north. What other brews you stopped by?
Central Coast for sure. I mean, we
Okay,
went
yeah.
we went to the Madonna Inn on the way to one of our excursions. We stayed at San Luis Obispo in the RV park there, and we would go day trips around. Across the street from the Madonna Inn, they had their pretty nice brewery.
Yeah,
There.
the newer one at Central Coast, right?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean,
Yeah,
it was.
yeah.
I think they had just opened, or maybe they weren't officially open. It was empty. But then the Three Stacks, and then I think I went to Central Coast twice, and then I picked up a bunch of local ones at in Solvang at the Valley Brew Shop there. I picked up some. Uh,
Oh, yeah, that's a cool place, right?
yeah, I mean, and too bad what do they call it? The back room, their beer room wasn't open, so uh, couldn't go back and have a beer.
That is one of my favorite spots to go to.
Yeah,
Is the back room, man. I mean, just the whole feel to it. They always Sandy and her husband do a great job of having amazing beers on tap,
yeah,
amazing beers in the fridge.
yeah,
So
yeah. I went. I asked her
you can't go wrong
yeah, for sure.
there.
Yeah, I went and I said, can you recommend anything local? And she wanted to give me a Casaglia beer, and I said, well, I'm from Oxnard, so can you recommend anything else? So I'm not sure why she
Yeah,
went right for not
another one in
us.
San Luis Obispo that yeah. I was asking if you had tried Liquid Gravity.
Yeah, yeah. Let me look through my. Actually, let me look at my phone to see if I have a picture of it. Yeah, three of them, three different ones of that brewery for sure.
Yeah, that Brandon's done an incredible job, and he actually came from Central Coast, and also he worked at Firestone too for a while. But man, there's some really really good beers there.
Yeah. Let's see.
I'm a big fan of it. Tastes like one of those orange creamsicles that you had as a kid, with the white filling inside.
Yeah.
But it's like 10%, dude. It tastes just like that, but it's 10%. It's so crazy.
Yeah, you can't indulge too much on those.
No,
Let me
but
see.
it's one of those. I feel like that's the way of the craft beer world right now, right? Gone are the days of that's a 10%er, right? Like you taste it, you're
Yeah.
like, oh, that's a 10%er, that's 9%er, that's 8%er. Now everything is so smooth and so good.
Yeah.
It's actually a little scary, right? If you don't pay attention to the ABVs, you're like,
Yeah, for sure.
I'll have another one of these real quick.
Yeah, I had a Drama King, West Coast double IPA,
Okay.
and I had a Welcome to Lincoln, West Coast IPA, and I can't see the other side of the 4-pack that I made myself, so I don't remember what the other two were, but I'm sure they were good because I drank them. So
yeah, I haven't tried those yet, so I'll have to get up there. But yeah, it's we're lucky, right? Like you're lucky. You live in Ventura County. Ventura County is just exploding.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, geez, I mean, you guys have it seems like a new brewery every
Yep.
other
Yeah, we're
month.
lucky. Yeah, down the street from work, I have a couple down the street from work on the way home on
and
the.
it's not like it's a brewery. One place that we do an event for I want to mention is we do an event for the Central Coast Brewers Guild. So basically, the Central Coast Brewers Guild is the over the umbrella organization for all the independently owned breweries.
Right.
Easy as I haven't gone to Tascadero a whole lot. Right, that it's not a town that I was going to, and so I did an event for them back in 2019 in early, and it was amazing. And then, looking at it, that town has so many craft breweries. It's crazy.
Uh-huh.
And it's cool to like find a town like that that's just embracing craft beer. And it
Yeah.
reminded me a lot of like what Ventura was happening in Ventura, where they kind of embrace the craft beer culture and say, we're going to help you guys. We're going to promote you guys. We're going to spend dollars on people coming into town to go to your craft breweries. So it's cool to see a town like that. They have and they make some incredible beers too. Tent City. There's Dead Oak. There's a new brewery called Colony Mash that just opened up. Santa Maria Brewing Company moved all their operation there. So it's pretty impressive to see what craft beer is right now, as to like when I started and having DBAs at my local bar and
Yeah.
super stoked on DBA, and that was the only thing I drank,
Right.
So yeah.
Well, good. Well, I hope all this gets cleared up soon, so you can get out there and start doing your thing. People want to get out and be out in public and have fun and drink beer, and I'm sure it's all there's gonna be a silver lining soon.
It's gotta be, man.
Yeah.
We've waited too long. We've already I feel like we've all put in the time. It's about time we enjoy some festivities, man.
Yeah, we got to get a win here pretty soon.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. All right.
Well, so, hey, I'll make sure you get a box.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, send me the link. I'll more than happy to pay for it. No obligation. Let everyone know where they can find you. If they want to sign up for your virtual, if they want to find you where all your events are, I'll have it in the description. But where can they find you?
Sure. So our website's a great spot. So it's surfbeerfest.com.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can follow us on Instagram. It's Surf and Suds Beer Fest, as well as Facebook. And then we do a good job of promoting all the events we're hosting for other people through those social media platforms and our website. So that's just the one-stop shop to find out everything that we're doing for other people.
Cool. Yeah. All right. And with that, my beer is finished.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers through the hops.
Yeah. Got lost in the hops. All right, man. Well, maybe I'll make it out to Carp August 14th. If I can get a ticket to your Brewfest there.
Yeah. Hey, just jump on the train.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a good deal, the train. It lets off in pretty good spots and you don't got to walk too far. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. Well, thanks for making time for me.
All right. Well, thank you, Andres. I appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Hey, one more thing.
Yeah.
We're Tocayos. You know what Tocayo is, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That's right. All right. Need some name brothers, man. I don't find a whole lot of them.
It was easy to remember your name in the interview. I didn't have to write it down. That's so, right. All right, man. Thanks a lot for your time.
Cool, man. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I'll send you the link so you can check it out, see if you want to redo it or if you're cool with it. And then we'll post it and you can do whatever you want with it.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much, man.
All right, cool. Talk to you later.
Take care. All right.
Later. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. That was Andres Nuno from Surf and Suds Beer Festival. Great conversation. He enjoys talking about beer and what he does. Remember to like and subscribe and share. If you have anyone that you want to see featured on this show that has not been on, reach out to them, give them my contact information. I'd be happy to schedule an interview with them. Thanks a lot, and I'll talk to you guys next time.